Mariners Spring Training on Root Sports is presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing.
Couple of lefties getting loose, Val.
I love it.
Get down, make a good target there, buddy. Hey, it's Sunday Fun Day here on Root Sports as we bring you another edition of Cactus League Baseball with the Mariners hosting the Cleveland Indians right there in Peoria. Game 22 in Arizona. Beautiful day in the Valley of the Sun. We keep saying that. Peoria Sports Complex, Cleveland, Seattle. Oh, welcome. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It's Brad Adam alongside our baseball analyst, Mr. Dave Valley. Boy, Val, when you're in spring training, do you ever get tired of those 85-degree days, beautiful sunny days?
Towards the last 10 days, it starts to get a little bit hotter, 90 degrees, and you've been down there in the desert. You kind of long for the cool, wet weather of Seattle. Couldn't wait to get back.
That you'll get in April, no doubt about that, in May, and maybe a little bit of June. All right, we saw a couple lefties warming up. Those little kids aren't making it in today. A couple lefties are making it on the mound today. The headliner is on the mound. It's Felix yesterday. Who we got today? So Lexus pitching matchup. How about T.J. House?
Woo.
Big Ernie last year and a big Ernie this spring. I see a trend there, Val.
Yeah, I think the beard on the right's a little bit better than the one on the left.
Good point. Wade Miley's first year with the Mariners, with the Sox last year, 11-11. Now, we take a look at Miley. One of his specialties comes in the form of the four-seam fastball, and you love this pitch, Val.
I do like it. There's no better pitch in the game of baseball than a well-located fastball, and with that four-seamer, Wiley can work that pitch all the way around, top, bottom, left, and right, and everything comes off of your fastball. So if you can start throwing that fastball, first pitch strike, then everything else can come right after that, Brad.
Miley,
I love it.
Throw strikes, and we know he works quick.
Yes, even better.
Which we like that, no doubt about that. Hey, it looks like Miley, of course, a lock for a spot as in the starting rotation, probably number 3 starter. While the rotation has been a hot topic during our Cactus League coverage, a lot is still to be determined in the Mariners' bullpen. With more on that, we go to Aaron Goldsmith and Mike Blowers in Peoria.
Well, Mike, the bullpen's still very much up for grab. We do know a couple of things. We know who will pitch tonight. Steve Seashek, the Mariners' new closer. We know Joaquin Benoit will pitch in the 8th inning. We know Tony Zick, very impressive in September last year. He's certainly in the mix, but there's still a lot of spots up for grab in the bullpen.
Well, there are. We knew there was going to be a lot of competition here in spring training for the spots in the bullpen, but unfortunately some guys have been injured. You look at Scribner, you look at Ryan Cook, a couple of right-handers. We're still waiting on Charlie Furbush, so that is up in the air and where things are going. I think if you look at the rest of it, you have Guipe, I think has a real good chance. Don Roche is really pitched well. I think Nuno is in there because you have to have a left-hander. And then yesterday we saw Montgomery. If Charlie's not ready, Montgomery makes some sense. And then we still have to wait to see what's going to happen with Carnes. I think if Carnes doesn't make his way into the rotation, there's an opportunity for him out in the bullpen. And I know that we've talked to a lot of people about it, including Scott Service, and I don't think he's going to make his decision until we get towards the end of camp.
Today we'll have a chance to see Michael Guipe and also Steve Seashek, who's coming off a scoreless outing the other day. He'll pitch again for the Mariners this afternoon.
Aaron, Mike, thank you very much. Do you think he's using too much sunscreen?
I think
Can
he
he
needs
enjoy
to
it
spend
a
more
little bit?
time with Mike Blowers outside of the ballpark just so he can get a little bit of color. I think he's putting on too much sunscreen down there.
You want to put some on and be safe. We understand
absolutely.
that. But Aaron can loosen up a little bit. We do have, of course, new faces on the Mariners all over the roster, up and down it. But one of them being the probable closer. The guys talked about it, Steve Seashek. We'll see him today. We wanted to get to know the right-hander a little bit more, so we got to digging. And it just so happens he has some history, some embarrassing history at Safeco Field.
Oh, wow. You had to ask me that. Actually, at Safeco Field, I threw a wild pitch on an intentional walk, and the winning run came in. Yeah, when I was with the Marlins.
I remember that game. I was there, and I said it there. I've never seen that before, and I've never seen it again. Wow. Good to see Seashek, of course, laugh about it now. Definitely a tough job in baseball, trying to come into the game and shut it down. And speaking of tough jobs, what about the pitcher's counterpart, the men behind the plate? We'll talk Mariners catchers with Dave Valley when we come back right here on Root Sports. Delta. All right, lineups for today. Mariners go Aoki, Sardinia, Seager hitting third, Dejo Lee at first base, Smith back out there in right, Iannetta, Robertson, Martin, and Chris Taylor, your shortstop. For the visitors up from Goodyear, we're talking about the Cleveland Indians. And they've got there's some backups. Raji Davis, he might start in center for them. Ramirez, Aguilar, Marlon Byrd. Nice year last year with the Giants, 23 home runs. Colin Cowgill over from Anaheim. You see the 9 for Cleveland right there. And welcome back to Mariners spring training. Brad Adam along with, of course, Mr. Dave Valley. All right, now throughout our spring training coverage, Mr. Valley, we talked about the utility role, starting rotation, the bullpen today. Now let's take a look at the catchers, and why not with you? It makes sense. 3 of them all new in camp. Rob Brentley, so new, Val, we don't have a picture of him.
And I think one of the best thing about all these guys is that they're all veteran guys. They've been around. Chris Iannetta, on one hand, has been in the American League West for many years, so he's a veteran guy. He knows this division. He's going to be a great asset for this ball club.
And we'll see him get the start today. Iannetta behind the dish. Wade Miley, the start. Let's get out. We can't wait to start another spring training game. Mariners and Indians coming right up. Let's get out to Peoria and join the guys, not in the burn, but the fans out there, no doubt about it. Look at that day. Aaron Goldsmith, Mike Flowers. I know Aaron is indoors and cool right now, in the shade right now, after that open.
Well, you know, the windows are open here in the booth, Brad, Val. Thank you so much. But you're right. The open, well, it was a rather bright morning here in Peoria, as you would come to expect. As Wade Miley getting set for his third Cactus League start, and Mike, it looks like we'll see him out there for about 5 innings today or so.
Yeah, looking forward to him getting stretched out a little bit more. We've talked a lot over the last couple of days with all the starters trying to get a little bit deeper in the game. 5 innings in, probably 70 to 75 pitches. We've talked about it with Miley. He likes to work fast, so it's going to be a warm day today. I'm sure he'll try to get his 5 innings over quickly.
Mariners and the Indians getting set to get started. The Mariners 9-10-2 here in Cactus League play. The Indians, meanwhile, about the same, 8-10-2. As it looks like just waiting for some of the youngsters to get off the field here. They were out on the field as the players took the field, getting a couple of autographs. But yesterday, Mike, the story, Felix Hernandez sure looked good, didn't he?
I thought that he looked terrific, and the one thing he wanted to work on was his fastball location, and he was able to accomplish that. I thought maybe he would go 5 yesterday, only went 4, but I don't think he needed any more than that. He looked terrific.
That'll be Rajay Davis to get things started for Terry Francona's Indians. Wade Miley coming over this winter from Boston. One of the many moves made by Jerry DiPoto. And we're underway with the pitch missing outside. Now, the Indians not too active this offseason, unlike the Mariners. Davis, one of the few really new faces that they acquired. And you can see Terry Francona. Last year, the Indians 81-80, third straight winning season under Tito. Davis into right field, the slide, and Smith is there to make the catch.
Sometimes it can be difficult for the outfielders to get a good break on the ball, but an excellent play by Seth Smith in right field today. He's able to break in on it right away as you see the sliding catch from Seth. I have people ask me, even with the infielder, sometimes the ball will get hit and it looks like they are frozen for a split second, and I tell them it's so difficult when it's bright like today, 88 degrees here at game time. But because the stands are down so low and everybody's wearing their white shirts, it's difficult to see the ball.
Ramirez, deep left field. Aoki can't do anything about it. This is crushed. Ramirez with a bomb, and it's 1-0 Indians. One out and already one in for the Tribe. It brings in Aguilar.
Well, you mentioned it, Aaron. That ball was squared up, but there is some wind blowing straight out to left today.
We see, even about less than a week ago, Mike, we saw a ball that was lifted out to right field when the wind was blowing that direction. It looked harmless, and wouldn't you know it, it finds its way into the bullpen.
And sometimes thing that I notice too is even the outfielders, when they feel that they typically you see them break hard on the ball, when they feel they have it in its tracks, they'll slow down and they'll have to speed up again because of the carry on the baseball. It fools them out here, and you'll see that quite a bit down in Arizona.
Miley, 29 years old, born in Hammond, Louisiana. Last time out, 3 innings, 3 runs, 4 hits against the Cubs. Mike mentioned that Miley is a quick worker. Last year, if you look at average time between pitches, the only man who was faster between pitches than Miley was Burley, who you can imagine he's about the fastest worker there is, or there was at this point now that he's retired. Out number 2.
And we'll take a look at the swing from Ramirez. You can see that fastball was right in the middle of the plate, and Miley knew it right away. You could see him asking for a new baseball.
Two outs now. The base is empty for Marlon Byrd. Byrd signing a minor league deal with the Tribe. Now 38 years old, about to go into his 15th major league season. First pitch swinging. Right off the heel of the glove of Sardinas. A 2-out error. We've seen Sardinas at shortstop quite a bit. We've seen him at third base, and today getting the start at second.
Well, one of the things that I knew coming to the ballpark today is Cano was not going to be out there. He played in last night's ball game. He and Cruz getting the afternoon off.
Split squad yesterday for the Mariners, the final one of the springtime. We are seeing a number of the guys, of course, who played in the day game yesterday, a 5-4 loss in surprise to Kansas City. Two outs, a man at first for Joey Butler. We saw Butler last year with Tampa Bay. I spent time in the big leagues each of the last 3 years with 3 different clubs. With Texas, that's who drafted him. A brief cup of coffee with the Cardinals and then with the Rays. Miley, an all-star back in 2012, his days with Arizona. Jerry Dipoto trading Roenis Elias, Carson Smith to the Red Sox to get Miley in return. And Miley jumps ahead in the count 1-2.
Here in the first inning, he's already thrown a couple of quality changeups. You heard Val talking about his four-seam fastball, but a good changeup, and his changeup will run away from the right-handed hitters.
Soft toss to first. Dae-Ho Lee at first base today for the Mariners. And Miley able to finish things off here in the top of the first. A couple of strikeouts. Jose Ramirez, the solo shot. We're through 1/2 inning. The Indians on top 1-0. Glad you're with us for Mariners Spring Training, presented by Delta Airlines. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. And by Frontier Communications, provider of next generation Fios TV and internet. A warm day here in the desert. First pitch temperature 88 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Here from the Peoria Sports Complex. Nice day to be out on the berm. Well, we had a huge crowd last night, over 11,000 strong. The berms were packed. Norioki to begin things in the bottom of the first for the Mariners, facing lefty T.J. House. House, 26 years old, from Slidell, Louisiana. Made just 4 starts last year for the Tribe in the majors. Got knocked around a little bit. 19 earned over 13 innings. Up the middle, Oki, a base hit. Leadoff man aboard. It brings in Sardinius.
And we'll take a look at the swing from Aoki. We've talked about it a lot with him. He's going to put the ball in play. Doesn't strike out much. You see him hit the ball the other way, although that base hit right back up the middle. The Mariners on the spring as a team hitting .288. 22 home runs. And although it's hitter friendly down here, I still think that's impressive because of all the minor league kids that get a chance to play.
0-2 on Sardinius. Well, there's no doubt that spring training and September are the 2 toughest times to evaluate the numbers that you see in the game, and especially spring training because of what you said. You either have minor league players at the plate for you or you're facing minor league pitchers on the other side. Those numbers can get kind of jumbled sometimes.
I was asking Jerry DiPoto about that, and you see these guys, and there will be players that hit 400 for the spring. And I said, when you're looking at young players, how do you evaluate them outside of the numbers? Because, as you mentioned, Aaron, so many times we're all fooled by what these guys can do, and then all of a sudden the season starts and it doesn't work out. He said, well, some of that is just part of the process. You never know until you give them a chance. He said, but the other part is watching them make adjustments, how they compete, the way they run the bases. There's a lot of things that you can pick up.
Double play ball. It started with Gonzalez, the shortstop. That wipes away the leadoff single by Oki.
Well, routine double play. You can see the 2-hopper, an easy turn for the Indians.
Two outs and the base is empty for Seager, who had a nice day yesterday in surprise. A couple of base hits and RBI as well.
Kyle hitting .323 with a couple of home runs on the spring. And you can see the Indians have the shift on with Kyle hitting.
So it sounds like, based on your conversations with Jerry, even a veteran general manager, there's no foolproof plan to evaluate at this time of year.
Yeah, he definitely has different criteria other than the normal numbers that we all look at and that he's watching, but it doesn't matter who you are. From time to time you feel good about a player and it just doesn't work out, especially young players, because you don't have a track record to look at.
Jerry, as always, in the sunshine here in Peoria, right behind home. Count now 1-2 on Seager. High chopper over the middle. There's Martinez over to first base, and a 1-2-3 bottom of the first, despite the leadoff base hit by Aoki. We're through 1 inning. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Indians on top, 1-0. Top of the second, the Indians leading things 1-0. Sign your little sluggers up for the new free Mariners Kids Club, powered by Junior Mariners. Membership includes newsletters and special offers, plus a wiffle ball, Kids Club badge, and more when you visit Safeco Field. Join the free Mariners Kids Club at mariners.com/kids. Miley's first pitch to Cowgill is hit foul. Dejolie giving some chase. Now, Mike, based on a very brief conversation we just had in between innings, this was a surprise to me that you are, now this is going to seem random, but there is a tie-in here. You are a fan of the TV show Duck Dynasty.
I watched it quite a bit more because my boys are the ones that told me about it, and they like to watch it, so spending time with them, I watched it with them, sure.
Well, as we've learned with spring training so far this year, they're having some fun in the clubhouse. And, of course, the doors were closed at around 9 o'clock today, and the team had their normal morning meeting. And from what Scott Service told us today, there were some photos put up on the board as Miley gets a strikeout here of Cowgill to begin things at the top of the second. And it was a game kind of, we'll call it look-alike. And there was a photo of a character that you would probably recognize from Duck Dynasty and a photo of Wade Miley.
And I mean, with the beard and the hair, yeah, I can see that.
The accent, Louisiana accent, too, that probably helps a little bit once you talk with them. But we asked Scott, how much did Miley look like the guy from Duck Dynasty? And he said he was exactly the same. He was just wearing a Mariners ball cap. That's how Wade Miley started his morning.
They've been pretty creative with those meetings in the morning.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Just hearing about it.
It's been a lot of fun.
One out, nobody on. Here is Perez. One of the reasons why Jerry DiPoto was willing to give up so much to get Wade Miley, you think about Carson Smith, who is just an electric young arm, who is now part of one of the deepest bullpens in baseball in Boston, with Kimbrel, Koji Uehara before him. Also Rowanus Elias, who we saw some flashes of some really good stuff. The consistency that you look at the numbers for Miley over the course of his career in each of the last 4 seasons, he's essentially pitched 200 innings every time. Seager, nice play for round number 2. And it's those consistent innings in the rotation which were so attractive to Jerry.
Well, I think that you're right. You look at him get this ground ball, an easy play for Kyle Seager moving to his left. But I think that you mentioned the 200 innings, and when you look at the makeup of what the rotation could possibly be, obviously you don't worry about Felix, but Iwakuma's been injured the last few years, so you have to think about that. Taijuan Walker, I would suspect that he should be able to log a number of innings as long as he's healthy. And then if you go to the 5th spot and you have either Carnes or Paxton there, you're dealing with Paxton, who's been injured the last few years, and Carnes, a young pitcher, so you're not really sure. So for Miley, I think that was critical to get somebody that you know is going to give you 200.
Now, there's no question about it. A 1-2-3, top of the second. Glad you're with us for Mariners Spring Training presented by Delta Airlines. The Tribe on top through 1.5. Dae-Ho Lee begins things for the Mariners in the bottom of the second. Looks at a first pitch strike from T.J. House. Now, Lee has certainly had some impressive moments in camp this year offensively. And, Mike, I think maybe a surprise to some based on the initial reports that we got. He's looked pretty good defensively at first base as well. It was against the Indians as Martinez stumbles from the knees. And a good dig there by Aguilar at first base. It was about a week and a half ago in Goodyear where Lee put on a show defensively, a couple of fantastic plays at first base. And
I think most of the time you wouldn't expect that just because of his size. He's a big man, and you wouldn't expect him to be able to move around. But one of the other things that we've seen from him, too, as he's gotten deeper into camp, is he's running the bases a lot better. So I wonder, coming into camp, how much he was able to do as far as baseball goes. But he seems to get better all the time. He was even off to a little bit of a slow start swinging the bat. He did hit the long home run, but it seemed that he wasn't recognizing pitches. And now his average coming in today at 286. So he's improving in that area, too.
First pitch to Seth Smith outside.
Seth having a great spring, hitting .545 for Seth Smith.
1-1. Lone run of this ball game was the Jose Ramirez home run, second batter of the game. Now the rotation for the Indians is really the bedrock for this team. Offensively last year, about middle of the pack at best in the American League, but you talk about a rotation that will strike you out. They led baseball among starting pitchers in strikeouts last year. Of course, led by Kluber. Carlos Carrasco in there as well. Danny Salazar, Trevor Bauer. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get with Bauer, but he's got some electric stuff. Up the middle, of base hit. Nice work by Seth Smith. A one-out single, and right now we'll go back and check in with Brad.
Aaron, thank you, my friend. A simple question. Where are you watching today's game? Show us by sharing photos of you and your friends cheering on your team. That would be the Mariners. Use the hashtag #WhereIRoot on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and you can be featured on our air like this little gal. Come on, Ems, I got my lucky bow on today. Again, hashtag #WhereIRoot, hashtag Mariners. We'll go back to Peoria. And, guys, Dave Valley also has his lucky bow on today.
We would expect nothing less from Val. 1 out, 1 on. Here's Iannetta. Iannetta, a former Tar Heel. You can probably imagine what his bracket looks like. He and Kyle Seager. He was at UNC a few years before Seager was there. Did not quite overlap. Off the chest there, Perez. Iannetta was there during the, I believe, during the Andrew Miller days. Miller, who's become such a vicious reliever, was originally tried to be a starter, former first-round draft pick, and now one of the nastiest bullpen pieces in the majors. Here is Butler over near the line, finding the sun, and able to hold on. Out number 2.
You will see all the outfielders here with their sunglasses on, but what he did is he tried to turn his body a little bit, and then notice he'll put his glove up trying to shade his eyes, and he'll stay with it all the way until that ball is in his glove. So it's difficult. It's a difficult outfield to play, but he did a nice job right there handling the sun.
Terry Francona was talking about playing the outfield in the Cactus League in terms to Jose Ramirez, who hit the home run earlier, a guy who's kind of battling for a utility job, and he was in center field at the start of spring training for a game. And what Francona said to Ramirez is, if you can play center field here in the Cactus League, you can play center field anywhere.
I would agree with that. It's difficult.
1-0 to Daniel Robertson. Now, Robertson grew up in Southern California, but he grew up a Mariners fan. It wasn't because his dad was from Seattle or anything like that. He grew up a Mariners fan because of Ken Griffey Jr. And, of course, Jr. was at the complex today, had a chance to spend some time in the clubhouse talking with some of the guys. Gonzalez finding the sun a little bit as well. 2 hands for out number 3. Smith stranded at first base. We're through 2 innings. As we go to the 3rd, you're watching Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. This 88 degrees at first pitch. Only $4. That'll get you a small one. Plenty of flavors to choose from here inside the Peoria Sports Complex. Wade Miley comes home with first pitch missing low for ball 1 to Martinez.
Good day for snow cones. It's going to be 92, 94 degrees outside.
I will place an order for a $6 one in between breaks. Up to the fence. Aoki will have to track it down. And Martinez, a leadoff double. Miley has faced the starting 9 for the first time through. It's back to the top to Rajai Davis. Davis staying in the same division last 2 years with Tigers. Now coming over to the Tribe. His specialty has really been left-handed pitching over the course of his career. He's about a .295 hitter, lifetime against southpaws, like Miley. Some range there by Sardinez from the grass. Davis, a productive out, is able to advance Martinez to third.
And one of his other specialties is speed, and you could see it on that ground ball. Sardinez aware of it, had to get rid of it quickly with something on it.
He had some really pretty prolific seasons with the Blue Jays, stealing 40 to 50 bags a year. It seemed like for about a 5-year stretch. 1 out, a man at third base for Ramirez, who parked the mammoth home run to left field back in the first inning. Indians hoping that Ramirez kind of takes over for Mike Aviles, the super utility man for the Indians the last couple of years. Aviles signing a free agent deal with the Tigers. Shot out to left center. Robertson looking up, gone for the second home run of the day for Jose Ramirez. He's had Miley's number. That's his 4th home run this spring, his 2nd today, in the Tribe on top 3-0.
This is on an off-speed pitch. Looked like maybe the changeup and lined it out there. Good catch by the fan.
Now base is clean now with 1 out. Here's Aguilar. Aguilar not much time last year in the majors, less than 20 at-bats. Spent most of the season with AAA Columbus. Taylor having a range, spin, Lee off the bag, and Aguilar is safe. Now the umpire speaking the international language there.
Take a look at it. Taylor showing some range back up the middle, then he spins. Let's see his elbow dropping when he threw it. And ooh. I think Lee was able to get his foot down in time.
I think so. I think under normal circumstances that gets overturned. Instead, an infield single. Bird reached on an error his last time up. I know when you talk about replays and pace of play and how much did replays slow the game down last year. Well, the average game time in Major League Baseball last season decreased by 6 minutes. So that was a good thing. Robertson an easy catch for out number 2. The Mariners' season is, of course, fast approaching, so make sure you're on hand for the action. The first homestand starts with a 3-game series against the A's, April 8th, 9th, and 10th. The AL West matchups continue with 3 more against the Rangers. Pick up tickets for the opening homestand at Mariners.com. Really, the red flag for Major League Baseball was 2 seasons ago when the average time of game was over 3 hours. You could tell the offices in New York knew that something had to be done about that. And they're hoping to shave about 2 to 4 minutes per game off this season's slate as well. Robertson having a chase back for this one. Slows up, curls, and makes the catch. Butler out to center. 2 runs in. Ramirez his 2nd home run of the day. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Mariners spring training is presented by Delta Airlines. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. And by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. Aaron Goldsmith, Mike Blowers, our entire Root Sports crew for Cactus League game number 22 here from the desert. It's a long day yesterday for the guys, split squad, especially for the coaches. Miley making his 3rd Cactus League start today. There was Leonis Martin, and Mike, we know that We saw Martin in center field last night, playing today, but DHing.
And DHing, you're right. And I think that in most cases, when the players play in the night game, especially if they're going to be one of your regulars, they'll get the following day off. But with Martin, it was something that Scott Service had talked about early in spring training, that they wanted to get him as many at-bats as possible. So although he's an excellent outfielder, he's going to be the DH today.
Kind of in a no-man's land, and a basket catch made. That's Gonzalez, the shortstop.
So at least it takes a little bit off of his legs after playing in last night's game, but he probably will get his 3 or 4 at-bats this afternoon. Made that look pretty casual, didn't he?
Gotta say, that's not as easy as that looked. Well, Gonzalez has a tall build for a shortstop. Kind of has the Correa build out there.
Correa looks like he might be a little bit heavier.
Put on a little bit?
Yeah.
Good weight?
Strong, yeah.
Correa is one of the guys, when you think about just supreme talents, not just in the American League, but in baseball, and tough competition in the division when you got Trout in Anaheim, Correa and Houston, 2 of the best young players in the game, and the Mariners see plenty of both. 0-2 on Chris Taylor, batting 9th, today's shortstop. You know, Mike Taylor was a part of the hitting summit this winter here in Arizona. Edgar was down here for that. Alvin Davis as well, along with Scott Service, Jerry DiPoto, and the like. And that hitter summit really got some really positive publicity, as you can imagine, back home in Seattle. It was kind of this new idea that sounded like such a great one, and it certainly was. But what did you make of that? Especially, it seemed like kind of a proactive move for the new regime to get to know some of the top young players in the organization.
I think that it was a great idea, and I think you basically get them in a mindset coming into camp on what the expectations are going to be and what they're going to need to work on and what they're trying to do. And I think sometimes you can also take some pressure off of them when you start talking about commanding the strike zone as a hitter, because a lot of the young players, they're more worried about their numbers, obviously, because they want to move up to the next level and play here regularly, and that's important. But I think the organization took some of the pressure off of that, and it'll be more scouting them on how they approach their at-bats and their willingness to try to buy into the program.
2 outs. Here is Aoki, who singled in the first inning. It really is easy in the minor leagues to have a mindset of just get your numbers, get promoted, get called up to the major leagues. That's the name of the game,
That's
right?
what it's all about. It's not about being selfish. You still have to play the game the right way, and you have people down there as far as the organization goes that wants to see that, Aaron. But these guys all want to play here, and you have to put numbers up for that to happen.
Aoki bends back.
And the players know they are reading the stats. They're looking at the numbers. They know where their position is, and they're all trying to move up a level with whatever level that they're at. And the numbers are important.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Seems like part of the planning with the hitter summit and the conversations that followed, both with the players who were there and throughout the minor league side of things, of course those games have started now, is teaching this new philosophy, this new idea of what Mariners baseball is like, not only to the coaches but also to the players as well. Aoki is out to third base in a 1-2-3 inning, spun by TJ House. We're through 3. You're watching Mariners Spring Training, presented by Delta Airlines. Tribe on top by 3.
option to AAA Tacoma, right-handed pitcher Jonathan Arrow, left-hander David Rollins, and catcher Stephen Barron. Now, 2 players reassigned to minor league camp. That'd be right-handed pitcher Adrian Sampson, the local kid, and infielder Ed Lucas. Today's roster moves leaves the Mariners with 40 players in their major league camp. Of course, Miley, one of them. As we go back to Peoria, Aaron and Mike.
All right, thank you, Brad. Miley starting his 4th inning of work, facing Colin Cowgill, and it was interesting hearing Scott Service talk about the roster moves earlier today. And one name that he maybe talked the longest about was Ed Lucas. We had a chance to see Lucas last night at third base.
Had 3 hits in last night's game.
And Service's point was you need guys in your organization like Lucas. And a good point was brought up that even if he spends the bulk of his time in AAA this season, the veteran presence that a guy like Ed Lucas, who really goes about his business the right way, you can tell that immediately. That's somebody you want to have in that clubhouse. And if he's needed up here at the major league level with the Mariners, you know that he'll handle himself well here as well for the length of time that he's needed.
No, I agree with that. I think that, as you talked about it, he's a professional. So the young kids that you have there, you want some guys like that. But more importantly, you also have to have guys down there that you can call up when people are going on the disabled list that can handle themselves the right way. It probably is going to be for a short period of time, but you have to have veteran guys in your organization, even if it's at the minor league level.
And Lucas, a Dartmouth guy, certainly well educated, has expressed his interest that whenever his playing days are over, he'd like to be a front office employee in Major League Baseball for a team. And when he came into Scott Service's office today, Scott joked with him. He said, "You ready to join the front office yet, or do you want to keep playing?" and said, "Oh, no, I still want to keep playing." Nice stab there by Miley. And an easy toss to first, 2 outs. That'll bring in Eric Gonzalez. Gonzalez last year spent most of the time in the minor leagues, AAA and AA as well. Indians AA affiliate in Akron, Ohio, and Mariners' new bench coach Tim Bogar was once a manager of the Akron Arrows. In fact, won Eastern League Manager of the Year there for Akron. They're no longer the Arrows, by the way. They're now the Akron Rubber Ducks. For real, Mike.
Is there a reason for that?
Apparently, Akron has a. I remember looking this up 2 years ago when this all came down. Apparently, Akron, if I recall, has a rich tradition in rubber manufacturing, tire manufacturing.
Okay.
So, Arrows wasn't cutting it. The new mascot must be glorious.
There are a lot of, in the minor leagues, a lot of strange names, things you wouldn't come up with. And I was trying to think, as you were talking right there, that what the strangest ones for me, and it was probably the Toledo Mud Hens.
Oh, the Mud Hens have to have the largest team store in baseball. It is, I mean, it's bigger than Macy's. 3 up, 3 down. Go to the bottom of the 4th. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. On to the bottom of the fourth inning. Indians leading things 3-0. Now be on hand for the best marquee matchups of the year as the Mariners host the Yankees, Red Sox, Cardinals, and more for showdowns on the Safeco Field Diamond. It will be the biggest names with the biggest games, so be sure to secure your seat to the action by visiting mariners.com/tickets. Luis Sardinas leading things off for the Mariners. Sardinas still very young, 22 years old, out of Venezuela. And his favorite player, he said growing up, Omar Vizquel. Said he got a chance to meet him just a year or two ago when he was up in the major leagues. Omar on the coaching staff, of course, with the Tigers, but pretty cool to hear him say that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And thinking of Omar and the long career that he had, and the thing that was amazing to me about him is I don't think I've ever seen anybody have more fun playing shortstop. Even towards the end, when he was 40. Always had a smile on his face, always bouncing around out there.
High pop up in the sun. Aguilar with Martinez right behind him to make the catch.
Obviously a great shortstop, but he really had a good time.
Now you have to tell the story about the final play of the no-hitter.
Oh,
this is fantastic.
With Bosio on the mound. Yeah, you're right. It's a can't remember who the player was, but there was a chopper that went up over the mound on the AstroTurf in the Kingdome, and so it was a two-hopper. And when the chopper went up, Boz immediately dropped his head. He thought he'd lost his no-hitter, thought it was going to be a base hit. But when you watch the play, Omar's coming across, and he has plenty of time to use his glove and to make the throw. Be sure that we get the no-hitter here. He decides to barehand it about head high, takes a couple of steps, and just flips it over to first base to help Boz get the no-hitter, and was laughing doing it.
Now, what were you thinking when you saw that?
I was thinking that he was going to make the play. I didn't think he was going to make the play that way.
Squeaks in past third base. Ramirez off the bag, and Kyle Seager one-out single.
And sometimes I wondered if, because Omar's hands were so good, if he was just getting bored, because he would do things that normally you would not do. But he never felt the pressure of the game. It never bothered him. And I talked to him about it one time, and he was telling me that the fields that he grew up on, they were really bad fields. And he said, so fielding in the big leagues is a piece of cake. I always get good hops, especially for us. We were playing on the turf in the Kingdome at the time.
Sure. First pitch strike to Dae-Ho Lee.
And one of the funniest things with Omar, that he used to catch pop flies from time to time, and he would catch them on the way, with his glove going on the way down. Instead of turning his glove over, he would catch them.
He'd swat at him?
Almost like a swat, yeah. He would catch them like that and laugh. And he called every time the ball went up in the air, he would call it. I don't care where it was at. And I remember Sammy Perlaza, who was our infield instructor at the time, it used to drive Lou crazy. And I remember Sammy coming over to Omar as we're sitting on the bench. He said, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you turn your glove around the right way and catch it? Lou's really losing it down there. He said, you're going to be in big trouble if you drop one. And Omar smiled and says, go tell him I'm never going to drop one. Supreme confidence.
Lee down on 3 pitches, 2 outs. Seager stays at first after the single. Here comes Seth Smith.
We were talking about it yesterday, and me enjoying watching the guys take infield practice on the backfields before they ever get over here for the games. And Omar had the best hands ever. And one of the things that he used to do all the time, and he would practice it, is on double plays, instead of catching the ball in his glove, he would have the ball hit on the heel of his glove, and he would trap it with his throwing hand because he could get rid of it quicker. And I asked him one time, I said, have you ever dropped one trying to do that? And he said, no, I'm not going to drop it. My other hand is right there. He goes, it looks like I'm just hitting it with my glove, but I'm not. I'm actually trapping it up against there. I didn't want to lose it in the webbing where I bobble it or something. And so when we'd get a strikeout, I used to throw the ball. It would come down to me at third, and I'd throw it to Omar at shortstop. And one day he looked at me, because I threw it kind of firm to him, and he used to do that all the time. And he looked at me and he said, give me everything you have whenever you want. And I used to sit out there and just throw fastballs at him.
Really?
Yeah. And he would laugh and have just the best time with it.
And you never got him?
Never.
Wow.
No.
The shift is on for Smith. Two and one. Now they are giving Smith all of the left side of the infield practically. Ramirez, the third baseman, way over towards second. As Smith ahead of the count, 3-1. Full count to Smith. You know, we've talked about the AstroTurf a little bit at the Kingdome, and if I remember correctly, Mike, you would give up the fact that the ball got on you quicker with the AstroTurf for the fact that you always got a good hop, or never got a bad hop is the better way to put it.
Well, the one thing with the AstroTurf, and it's different than what the guys play on now, but because it was basically a thin carpet on concrete. So I felt that I could play deeper on the AstroTurf because the ball would get to me quicker, and so I wasn't necessarily worried about top. The only time that you would get in trouble is they had the dirt cutouts, and because they had a lot of things going on in the Kingdome, but we would come back and they may have just had a boat show or something in there, and so they have to put it all together. Sometimes it would take a few days for the dirt to get right, but
so if you had a strong arm, you'd be able to play back
deeper.
You could utilize your arm. And
right.
2 outs and 2 on for Chris Iannetta. Tie-in run at the plate. This is the first time the Mariners have had multiple base runners on against House. House faced the minimum in the first, and that again in the third. Seager singled, Smith the walk, 2 on and 2 out.
Thinking of the turf in the Kingdome, I often wonder, and thinking about it now just because I saw him today, but Ken Griffey Jr. is in camp now, and he played on that turf for a long time. You have to wonder what that took out of his legs.
Iannetta down on strikes. Mariners strand 2. We're through 4 innings. You're watching Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Indians leading things 3-0. Beautiful day here at the ballpark in Peoria. Mariners and the Indians starting things off at the top of the 5th. Wade Miley Just 46 pitches over the first 4 innings as he faces Michael Martinez, the number 9 hitting second baseman.
Martinez with a double in his first at bat.
He scored on the second home run today by Jose Ramirez. Seager knee high on to first. Well, every Monday experience the greatest Mariners moments from last season with Mariners Mondays. Tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific, where we'll go back to last year's opening day with King Felix dominating the Angels at Safeco Field. For your local programming schedule, just visit rootsports.com. Boy, that was a fun one, wasn't it, Mike? Opening and true opening day at Safeco.
They do a great job there.
Here comes the 50th pitch on the afternoon for Miley. And there was something even more special about it last year, since it was Felix, and it wasn't just the home opener, it was truly opening day.
Yeah, the King's Court going. That's always a lot of fun, though, and I think Felix really enjoys it, too. He seems to have a good time with it.
Now, Felix has said numerous times that when he hears King's Court start to get loud with 2 strikes, that it further motivates him to get a strikeout. I mean, this is King's Court factors into the game. There's no question. Broken bat. Rainbow. Aoki can't get to it. Past him. Robertson having to back him up. Davis stands up at second base. And that broken bat kind of helps Davis there. You know, along the lines of Felix, last year I thought one of the great quotes that I heard in the clubhouse came from Felix. When Max Scherzer lost his perfect game, now he still got the no-hitter, one of 2 that he threw last year. It was against the Pirates. It was the Jose Tabata elbow.
Right.
And it came with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the 9th inning. Well, it made me think of Felix and, of course, his perfect game. And I asked Felix in the clubhouse, what were you thinking when you had 2 outs and 2 strikes in the 9th inning in what would turn out to be your perfect game? And he just simply said, throw another changeup. And he had zero hesitation. Didn't have to think about it. He knew exactly what he was thinking.
Why not?
And, you know, I looked up the last pitch, right? The final pitch of the perfect game, right before that iconic pose from Felix. And it registered at about 92 miles an hour. And I thought, with the type of adrenaline that Felix was pumping that day, I could see him throwing a 92-mile-an-hour changeup possibly.
Well, his changeup is going to be 89, 90 anyway. So, yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah, could happen.
He looked really good last night. Changeup was exceptional.
2-0 to Ramirez, who has homered twice today in his many at-bats. Three and 0. Davis with the oven mitt on after the double. Keeping an eye on him, and they got him.
Perfect timing on this pickoff. Quick move by Miley, and Sardinas there to put the tag on him. That's something that they'll work on the backfields in the mornings, but the timing on that was excellent.
You saw Peralta pick off a runner late last night at second base. A 1-out walk. Mariners spring training baseball is live with MLB.com at-bat app. Stay connected all spring with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Pardon me, a 2-out walk after the pickoff. We were told that Miley was hoping to go 5 innings today. This is his 5th inning of work. Just under 60 pitches. Aguilar looks at a strike.
One of the other things that you'll see down here in spring training is sometimes if a starter is scheduled to go 5 innings, but they wanted him to be in the neighborhood of 70, 75 pitches, and like Miley's doing right now, he might be out of this inning right now with just under 60. They'll go out to the bullpen and throw even more, which you would never see during the season. And the reason why they do that is they want to make sure the relievers get in the game.
Yeah, we can very well see that here this afternoon. Indians on top 3-0 through 4.5.
You, Brad, Adam, and since Ken Griffey Jr. is in the Mariners camp this weekend in Peoria, we thought we'd give you a little update on Junior, where it's not just the summer of Junior, it's going to be the year of Junior. It's our CenturyLink What's Next. Ken Griffey Jr., April 8th, he'll be throwing out the first pitch at Safeco Field. July 24th is the Hall of Fame induction, the big one in Cooperstown. August 6th, number retirement ceremony there at Safeco Field. It's the whole weekend. It's the Hall of Fame bobblehead. I think they're going to get a Hall of Fame plaque as well. So the year of Junior just beginning. And Wade Miley's day on the mound may be ending, but is he going to throw more pitches, guys, in the pen?
Brad, we have breaking news. Wade Miley will be throwing. He will be throwing. He is superhuman. He will be throwing in the pen. 59 pitches for Wade Miley, so his day is almost done, Mike. You called it?
Yeah, he'll probably throw anywhere from 11 to 16 pitches down there just to continue to build up his arm strength. And again, you would say, well, why not just give him another inning? Well, they have relievers that are slated to pitch in this game today, and they want the guys to get the game experience. And that's the reason why, for Miley, knowing that he was going to go 5 and he was able to do that, even though his pitch count didn't get to where they wanted to, he'll throw in the pen, and then the first reliever will get in here and pitch the 6th inning.
Looks like that'll be Steve Seashek, as Job. Chamberlain is up on the mound for the Indians. Non-roster invitee for the Tribe. Spent last year with 3 different organizations: Tigers, the Blue Jays, and the Royals. Trying to latch on with Cleveland. Robertson on the ground. Gonzalez to first base, just in the nick of time. One out for Martin, DHing today, 0 for 1. We'll take another look at that ground ball out.
And you can see how quickly he's going to get rid of this. Backhand, get rid of it quickly. Accurate throw, and must have known that Robertson has good speed.
Robertson having a real nice camp.
He came into the game today hitting .480 for the spring.
Well, even before the Mariners got here to Peoria, you just look at the roster and you figure the Mariners basically had 5 outfielders set. And of course, Martin, even though he's DHing today, will be the Mariners' opening day center fielder. So Robertson knows kind of where he stacks up, but boy, putting together an impressive spring training. And just because you got 5 when you break camp doesn't mean you're not going to need a 6th, a 7th, or an 8th at some point.
Well, it goes right back to what Jerry DiPoto has talked about, and that is depth, not just in the pitching staff, but for the position players as well.
We've heard Andy McKay, the Mariners' new farm director, speak to that in some ways. Kind of a philosophical point as you see Miley and Seashek. Miley finishing his day, Seashek just starting his. McKay's thought, and it's an interesting one, it makes sense, is that when the Mariners play the Indians, for example, he likes to look at it not just as this 25-man roster for the Mariners playing the Cleveland Indians, but the Mariners organization from rookie ball here in Arizona to Everett, all the way up to Tacoma, to the major league staff and the players as well, looking at it as the full scale, the full scope of the organization, not just the 25 guys you got on your roster today. Martin down on strikes, out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Chris Taylor. Chamberlain, a former first-round draft pick, go back to 2006. Former Cornhusker in Lincoln. Long time with the Yankees. Of course, a starter when his career began, then moved over to the bullpen. Too quickly on Taylor. Chamberlain having a nice camp for the Indians. Looking like a pretty good chance to make this team for Terry Francona. His last 4 appearances have been scoreless ones.
His fastball now 93, maybe 94. When he first broke in, he was more 96.
It was a flamethrower. Two and two on Taylor. Martinez giving some ground. Here comes Colin Cowgill, the former Angel, to make the catch, and the Mariners retired in order for the 3rd time of the first 5 innings. We go to the 6th. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Mariners closer Steve Seashek will pitch the 6th inning. Indians leading 3-0. A couple of home runs by Jose Ramirez. Seashek had been bothered recently by some bicep soreness, which sidelined him for a little bit. So for Seashek, this is only his 4th appearance. He went over about a week and a half between appearances, and I know, Mike, that's something that you once dealt with in your career.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's a painful thing that he had to deal with. The thing that I was happy about is I had a chance to see him throw a bullpen before he was able to get back into the games, and everybody was hoping that things would go well, and it did. So it's good to see him back out on the mound.
We saw Seashek a clean 1-2-3 inning just a few days ago. That was in Mesa against the A's. We're going to bring Dave Valley in to talk a little bit about what it's like catching a guy like Seashek. Because if you haven't had a chance to see his delivery, it's a little unique to say the least. He's not exactly your typical fireballer of a closer. His fastball, Val, about 91, 92. Val, he told us earlier that growing up on Cape Cod as a Red Sox fan, he wanted to kind of combine the delivery. He wanted the tempo of Pedro Martinez. He wanted the mechanics of Derek Lowe. And it didn't quite come out as planned, but this is what Seashek is left with, and by and large, has done a pretty good job for him.
So he ends up right about in the middle. So he's not really like coming from way down under, but he is coming from the side slot. So for a catcher, you know, for Chris Iannetta, this ball, his fastball is going to have a tendency to run more in, like that one right there, into the right-handers, and he's going to have the ability to tie up a lot of guys and jam them. The slider is going to be almost like a frisbee. You know, when I watch him pitch, it reminds me of when we were kids, you know, skipping rocks on the lake. You know, it's that same slot right there. You see that ball coming on the inside part of the plate to the righty. Tough to see, you know, for hitters. You don't see this arm angle very often, and I think oftentimes that's why it can be so deceptive.
Val, when you're talking about that, I agree. I think the biggest thing as a right-handed hitter, you can see him hide the ball and then that angle that you're not used to seeing. But I would think that left-handers would probably see him pretty well.
Yeah, I think they would definitely have the benefit for a sidewinder like this, because you're going to be able to pick up that ball a little bit better, a little bit longer. Where the right-hander, you almost feel like you have to open up just a little bit to be able to pick up the release point a little bit earlier.
All right, Val, well, thank you. We appreciate some insights here on what it might be like catching a guy like Seashek.
My pleasure, guys.
3 balls and a strike here to Butler.
Aaron, you and I before the game, we were talking about the bullpen, and Job's still available. The one that's not is the closer. So it was important to get him healthy and throwing the baseball again. He looks pretty good again today. Good movement on his fastball.
Easy play there for Seager. You look at the course of Seashek's career, and he's certainly a veteran by this point. You're bringing up left-handed hitters, maybe seeing him a little bit better. For the course of his career, lefties batting 15 points higher than right-handed hitters, so not an enormous swing. But you can understand why you might think that based on how difficult it would be for a righty and then getting on the other side of the plate.
Yeah, and it really comes down to his delivery, and he'll hide it a little bit more to the right-hander. Mariners will put the shift on with Cowgill hitting.
We saw Cowgill for a number of years with the Angels, broke in with the Diamondbacks. Seashek said that he's been working on a changeup. That's something that he's been toying with a little bit here in camp. Look at his track record. 2013, 34 saves. The following year, nearly 40 saves. He's 5 shy of 100 for his career. Pours a strike in to make it 1-2. Finished last season with the Cardinals after being traded over by Miami to St. Louis at the deadline.
I guess a changeup for him would be a really good pitch to the left-handers.
He said that he tried a splitter a couple of years ago. He's got enormous hands, so you would think that by that alone he might be a good candidate for the splitter, but it just wasn't coming out right, he said, so he's decided to try to adopt a changeup. High chopper. Seager's play. On the run, Lee, the tag. Round number 3. A 1-2-3 inning spun, the second straight by Steve Seashek in each of his last 2 outings. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Glad you're joining us once again for Mariners Spring Training presented by Delta Airlines. Beautiful day here in the Valley as the Indians leading things 3-0 as we make our way to the bottom of the 6th inning. And reminder as always, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Mike Flowers. Happy to have you with us for Cactus League game number 22 for the Mariners. Tom Gorzolani, the new pitcher for the Indians. He takes over for Jabba Chamberlain, who spun an inning scoreless. Third time up for Noriaoki. And play to first base. Bell tie for Aguilar, out number 1. 1 up, 1 down. It brings in Luis Sardinas. Now, the big question mark for the Indians this offseason, the health of Michael Brantley. Brantley had labrum surgery in his shoulder during the offseason. And he's really ahead of schedule. Looks like Brantley, there's a chance that he'll be able to break camp and actually be in the opening day lineup for Terry Francona. There was a lot of thought earlier this winter that Brantley wouldn't be able to join the team until after the season started. But we've seen Brantley, Mike, become one of the most consistent players offensively, certainly, and defensively as well. And an all-star a couple of years ago for a reason.
Well, you're right. And he was able to get into a game yesterday, his first game here in the Cactus League. So definitely ahead of schedule, but he's critical for their lineup. Terry Francona, the manager, it's great news for him.
Brantley was able to hit a home run in yesterday's game, almost hit 2. Michael, of course, the son of Mickey Brantley, former Mariner, 86 to 89. Shot foul. And the count 1-2 on Sardinas.
And it looks like Michael Guaipe will be the next pitcher for the Mariners, trying to make this ball club.
Line drive into left field. Sardinas, his first hit. 1 for 3, a 1-out single.
It's a breaking ball that he can handle. They're trying to get it in on his hands. He leaves it out over the plate as he lines it into left field. Sardinas came into the game hitting .361 for the spring, and we've seen him at third, short, second base today. A little bit in the outfield.
This will be the third at-bat this afternoon for Kyle Seager. Seager, the Gold Glove winner a couple of seasons ago, an All-Star as well. He's got Sardinas at first. And Mike is a guy who played his position, whether it be at the plate or at third base. What is it that you like watching the most about Kyle?
I think watching the way that he has improved at third base from the time that he first showed up, and knowing what it was going to take because he was a second baseman by trade.
We forget that sometimes.
Yeah, and a lot of people had questioned whether he was going to have the arm strength to play third. He has plenty of that, and to see him go out and win a Gold Glove and just the work that he does. He makes so many plays that we take for granted, I think, because he makes them look so routine. But that in-between hop, he's as good as anybody I've seen in a long time at just smothering the ball and catching it cleanly. Very accurate when he throws the baseball. But I think I probably enjoy watching his fielding, even though he hit the ball hard right there, more than anything.
Gobbled up by the shift. We'll take another look. Hit it right on the screws. But this will cost the Mariners a couple of outs. We go to the 7th. Mariners trailing 3-0. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. Good look there at Lynn Canyon Dam. Here in the desert, Mariners trailing the Indians 3-0. We start things off at the top of the 7th. New pitcher up on the mound for the Mariners. It's Michael Guipe taking over for Steve Seashek. Seashek, a very good-looking top of the 6th, 3 up, 3 down on 3 ground ball outs, Mike.
No, you're right. It looked like he had really good movement on his fastball today. Was well located. Was able to jam a number of the right-handed hitters to get the ground ball. Threw a couple of sliders. I had a chance to see Guipe a few times this spring, and his fastball has been pretty good. I think his breaking ball, the command of it, has been much better.
I know Guaype's got a live arm. Last year, if you look at the numbers, it was really the fastball that got knocked around a lot. Guaype, 25 years old, out of Venezuela, last year making his major league debut. Pops straight up. Chris Taylor underneath it for out number 1. For Guaype this year, sporting a different number. You can see it there. He has changed from 53 to 48, and that is to honor the late Victor Sanchez, a former teammate, a great friend of Guaype's, and a former countryman as well. Passed away about this time last year. You might remember the story on Victor Sanchez, struck by a boat while swimming in the waters off of Venezuela. Just 20 years old. Those two, Guaype that is, and Sanchez, played together in Everett back in 2012. They were teammates, AA Jackson in 14. Sanchez made some news in 2013 with Clinton. He spun a no-hitter. Was really a prospect on the rise, and boy, that hit the Mariners hard when Victor Sanchez passed away. There's a little makeshift memorial in front of the Mariners front office here in Peoria last year around this time. And Guaype wearing his number 48 all season long now. Got him. 2 outs.
A couple of really good breaking balls right there, and you can see Chris Iannetta, the catcher, working hard, wanting this pitch down off the plate. And Guaype able to get it there. Last year when he would struggle at times, he would get ahead of hitters, and then he would want to throw that pitch for a strike, and they would get hits off of it. Right there, able to bury it in the dirt, get him to chase it.
Martinez spoils the first pitch foul. Lee, a short underhand scoop. Guaype covering. The last 7 Indians retired in order. It's time to stretch. Here the sunshine in Peoria. You're watching Mariners Spring Training, presented by Delta Airlines. Indians leading the Mariners 3-0. Make plans to take in a Mariners game with the whole family at Safeco Insurance Grand Slam Family Package Night. Select tickets include a hot dog and Pepsi at one special package value price. Check out a list of this year's events when you visit mariners.com. Below today, we had a chance to see the third start for Wade Miley. 5 innings, a couple of home runs, but overall, what'd you think?
Oh, I thought he pitched really well. That was a good changeup. That was a pretty good pitch for him today. We talked about his 4-seam fastball at the start of the game, but his changeup was a great pitch to get the strikeouts. A couple of home runs to the number 2 hitter, pitches that he left in the middle of the plate. But overall, I thought it was a really good outing for him. Certainly was efficient with his pitches.
And Miley only 59 pitches over those 5 innings. New pitcher on the mound for the Indians, Joe Thatcher. You saw Thatcher last year with the Astros, before that with the Angels. And right away in there, and it gets a piece of Daeho Lee. Lee into first base. That opens up the plate for Seth Smith. We talked about Seashek's delivery from the right side. Mike, how about Thatcher's from the left?
Just as difficult for the left-handed hitters. He has a big sweeping slider. Doesn't throw real hard, but he definitely hides the ball from the left-handed hitters. Typically, he will try to get them to chase the slider off the plate away.
First pitch strike to Smith. Mariners have the tying run on deck. That is Iannetta. There you see Chris. Casey Candell, one of the new members of the Mariners coaching staff at first base. Smith ahead of the count, 3-1. As the count goes to 3-2 on Seth Smith, it's nice to be joined by Mariners closer Steve Seashek. And boy, Steve, a really nice outing today. You backed that up with a fine performance a few days ago against the A's. How are you feeling right now?
I feel pretty good. I really wish I got ahead of 3 hitters instead of falling behind first pitch, but I was able to get back into counts and make and do some ground balls. So I'm pleased with that.
Yeah, it looked like you had pretty good movement on your fastball today. You threw it quite a bit.
Yeah, Chris kept calling it, and I figured he liked what he saw, so I'm just going to keep throwing it. So, just to get those ground balls, weak contact is always what I'm going for. Wish it was earlier in the count to save some pitches, but like I said, I was just happy just to get 3 outs.
You were dealing with a little bit of a bicep issue. I guess it was a couple of weeks ago now, but how are you feeling as far as that goes? And is that something that you typically have to deal with in spring training?
No, it was a little new. That's why it kind of concerned me a little bit. So it was early in the spring. I just want to make sure we took care of it. And the training staff here is incredible. They'll break your back, their back, just to work my back. They'll break their back just to make you feel better, man. And it's really awesome to be able to go in there and work with them.
Hey, Steve, you and I talked at the very start of camp about the one time where you pitched at Safeco Field as the home team. Can you take us back and kind of tell us the stories to how all that came about back in 2011 for some Mariners fans who might not remember it?
Yeah, so we were in Fort Lauderdale. That's where our old stadium was, and we're supposed to have a home series with the Mariners, but apparently whoever does the scheduling scheduled our games or scheduled a U2 concert during that series. I think it was U2.
It was U2, you're right.
Okay, yeah, so then of course we had to fly to obviously the furthest point in the country to be the home team at Safeco Field. So it was a little bizarre. It was kind of quiet in the stadium because I don't think people realized there was a game. But it was a unique experience.
Now, you were still in the visitors' dugout, from what I read, and you still, of course, had the visitors' clubhouse, and the batting practice times were the same. But other than that, I mean, this was full-on National League rules in an American League ballpark, correct?
That's right, yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get to hit in that game. But, yeah, full-on National League rules, and I'm sure no one's ever seen that before. And
that was the first time in history. Felix, I believe, actually got a hit in that series against your Marlins at the time. Well, Steve, hey, it's been great talking with you a little bit. Thanks for the stories, and I'm glad nobody's going to be breaking your back.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Steve Seashek, really a good guy. We've enjoyed getting to know him as Iannetta goes down swinging. Lee was able to get into second base during that conversation on a wild pitch.
Yeah, and I think that he was right, though. The trainers will break your back if you don't do exactly what it is that they want you to.
Sure.
Yeah.
What
He
a
looked good
guy.
today. I thought it was interesting talking about falling behind, but it seemed to me that his fastball command was pretty good. He missed with a few sliders, but overall looked good today. More importantly, he was healthy and feels good.
And really, he's been a workhorse over the course of his career from the standpoint. Maybe workhorse isn't the best way to describe a closer. No multiple innings there, but really a better way to put it. He's been very consistent in terms of his innings. And this is not somebody who's been sidelined before, so that was probably a little unique for him. Daniel Robertson's third time up. Robertson, a year in Corvallis playing for the Beavs, was there with Stephen Romero. Squirts out of the glove of Perez, and that Daeho Lee hit by pitch on the very first pitch of the inning has turned into look like a triple.
That will be a pass ball.
Maniac, the new third base coach for the Mariners. Runner at third base, 2 outs. Tied to the line and a fair ball. Mariners get their first run. Lee scores. Robertson, a 2-out RBI single.
On the breaking ball, inside out swing. Aaron mentioned a couple of times having a great spring for Robertson. Came into the game hitting .480 and will pick up a base hit and an RBI right there.
There's Martin. You know, Robertson said that he put on 30 pounds this time last year. He showed me a picture of him 30 pounds heavier. I said, "You look like a fire hydrant." And he said, "That's what Dustin Pedroia told me." Those exact words. Martin, easy pop up here to Martinez. Well, maybe not quite so easy with the sunshine, but he's able to make the catch. The Mariners get a run. They strand a man. And they're on the board for the first time today. Good look inside the Mariners team store here inside the Peoria Sports Complex. We're through 7 innings. Back on to work things in the 8th inning. Mariners on the board for the first time after Robertson's 2-out single to right field. Guaipe, a nice 1-2-3 top of the 7th. Now facing the top third of the order. there was Brady, jump throw in time. Taking over for Sardinas.
This is one of the things you and I were talking about yesterday, Aaron, seeing the kids get a chance to come in and do something. I wasn't sure he was going to get to this ground ball, but he gets rid of it quickly. You'll see the jump throw. Fine play.
Patrick Brady getting some time in a Cactus League game. Right back Brady's way to a knee. This one may be a little bit easier. 2 outs. Right now, let's go check in with Brad back at the Ford Sports Desk.
Aaron, thank you. Enjoying the Brady Show out there at second base. Hey, we want you fans to join the conversation. For up-to-date game information and live interaction, be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. So an eclectic mix there. Check us out and stay connected with Root Sports. Back to Aaron and Mike. Nice play by a couple of nice plays by the new second baseman.
Yeah, how about that? 2 outs, both Brady's way. Here is Aguilar. Big towering first baseman for the Indians. We sometimes see Carlos Santana at first base for the Indians, a guy who gets on base a lot. He walks a lot. And There was some talk with Terry Francona at the start of spring training of to put Santana in the leadoff spot this year because of those on-base numbers. And eventually that kind of fizzled, but that was at least under discussion for a while. It doesn't really fit the leadoff profile whatsoever, aside from his ability to get on base. But normally it is Santana we see over at first. 3 ground ball outs, and the last 10 Indians in a row sat down. Fine work by young Patrick Brady here in the top of the 8th inning. Snow cones, funnel cakes. You get the full compliments of eats here from inside the Peoria Sports Complex. Now join us for what will be one of the biggest events in Mariners history when Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. has his number retired. Guarantee yourself a seat to this can't-miss event when you purchase a 20-game plan or 10-game flex pack. Visit mariners.com/Griffey Night for more information. Now the former Ranger, we saw him a little bit last year. Ross Detweiler really struggled with the Rangers last season. 34 earned runs over 43 innings for Detweiler, then went on to pitch for the Braves. Pitched in relief, facing Chris Taylor. Detweiler takes over for Joe Thatcher. Detweiler was once with the Nationals for many years. Martinez is there for out number 1. You know, Mike, last night on the broadcast we were talking about Tim Bogart and what an asset he looks like he already is for the Mariners as the Mariners' new bench coach. You see Bogart on the right, Scott Service on the left. Bogart, we mentioned earlier today actually that he was a minor league manager of the year in the Indian system with the Akron Arrows many years ago. His first first major league coaching job was the World Series year 2008 with the Tampa Bay Rays and Joe Maddon. He was the quality assurance coach for Joe Maddon, really one of the first of its kind. But can you imagine that, your first major league coaching job, and it's under the mad scientist Joe Maddon?
And I thought what was interesting about that was Tim Bogart was saying it was his job to come into Maddon's office after the game and question him about moves that he had made. That had to be a little bit uncomfortable.
Why'd you pitch run here? Why did you bring this reliever in there?
All right.
Navarro into center field.
But I think if you'd been around, you were a veteran coach for a while, that'd be a little bit easier. Still not the best job to have, but when it's your first time around, that would be a little bit difficult, I would think.
I think he said that Maddon referred to them as their ward debriefings every night. And when you think about Joe Maddon, you think about a guy who's pretty well thought out. I'm not going to stump him too many times, I wouldn't think. Here was Patrick Brady, who made those fine plays defensively in the 8th inning, the top half.
But I would think that by the time that year was over, it prepared Tim for a lot of different things.
On the infield, Martinez has been fighting the sunshine all day, and he wins this one once again. Another 1, 2, 3 innings spun by Indians pitchers. As we go to the top of the 9th, you're watching Mariners Spring Training presented by Delta Airlines. Indians up by 2 as we start things off in the top of the 9th inning here from Peoria. Hope you can join us for Sounders FC Alt Access only on Root Sports. We take you behind the scenes, giving you unprecedented access to the players and coaches that are shaping the future of soccer in the Emerald City. Visit rootsports.com for your local showtimes. Now it's a fun day out here at the ballpark in Peoria. Nearly 9,000 on hand for this one today. New pitcher for the Mariners is Casey Coleman. Coleman, who pitched last season at the Royals AAA affiliate in Omaha. Now, Mike, if you want to know some incredible family history in the game, you just look at Casey Coleman. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
This is going to impress you. Casey
Okay.
Coleman, his father, Joe Coleman, 1965, the first year of the Major League Baseball draft. Right? Rick Monday was taken #1 overall by the Oakland A's. Casey's father was the 3rd player ever drafted in the history of baseball.
Really?
Taken 3rd overall by the Senators back in 1965. But wait,
Oh,
there's more.
Okay.
Casey's grandfather, easy name to remember, also Joe Coleman. Nice play here, new first baseman Jesus Montero taking over for Dejo Lee. All right, so his father, Joe, 3rd overall pick in 65, and it's worth mentioning, had a very long career in the major leagues. His grandfather, Joe, 10 years in the big leagues. 1948, Philadelphia A's. Had a good season. In fact, he was an all-star. He actually pitched 3 innings in the all-star game that year. Faced Stan Musial twice, walked him the first time, got him out to end the game. He picked up the 3-inning save. That's some pretty good family history.
Congratulations. you are able to get Stan Musial in the broadcast today.
Well,
Is he your all-time favorite?
not even close.
Really?
Yeah. Got him out once, walked him once. That's pretty good.
That's
Grandfather.
Yeah, that's really good.
Oh, by the way, Musial that year in 48, he was the National League MVP, hit 376. That was one of like, what, 20 straight years where he was an all-star? So let's just say there's some bloodlines for Casey Coleman.
Well, I know he's been able to get a good look here in spring training. He's pitched 6 innings going into this outing.
A 1-out walk. This will bring in Colin Cowgill. Cowgill 0 for 3 today. A former teammate of James Paxton at the University of Kentucky. Runner takes off. Down to second. Plenty of time. Tag applied there by Brady. Now number 2. Brantley, the new catcher.
Yeah, nice play. Gets the breaking ball. Doesn't try to rush it at all. Squares his shoulder up and throws a strike into second.
Brady coming back to where he was normally lined up onto first base. And despite that walk, a 1-2-3 inning spun by Casey Coleman, making Dad and Grandpa proud. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last call for the Mariners, down by 2. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines. Moments away from Kyle Seager's 4th at-bat of the game as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Mariners needed a couple of runs to tie, 3 to win. Mariners' lone run coming on a 2-out RBI single to right field by Daniel Robertson in the 7th inning. This is Austin Adams pitching here, taking over for Ross Detweiler for the Indians. Seager lined it to a double play back in the 6th inning. Hit it right on the screws. Adams all warmed up and ready to go.
Trying to think of it. I think this Kyle, out of all the regulars that are going to be in the everyday lineup, Kyle might be the first one to go all 9 innings that I can think of.
You might be right.
A couple of guys that were DHing that day have done it, but I mean playing in the field.
No, you could be right. They put the shift on for Kyle.
Good fastball at 95 miles an hour.
Kyle, growing up in North Carolina, a huge Derek Jeter fan as a kid. And got to think back to that All-Star game a couple of years ago for Kyle, his first selection at Target Field, and how cool it was for Kyle that was Jeter's final All-Star game. And when Jeter was taken off the field to a standing ovation, Jeter made his way through the dugout, hugs, handshakes, and high fives to everybody, and of course, Kyle was in the line. I mean, how incredible is that? You grew up idolizing this guy, and there you are in the dugout. You are sharing the All-Star honor of being selected along with the guy, an immortal icon of the game like Derek Jeter, and he's shaking your hand and giving you a hug.
I talked to Kyle about that, and yeah, you're right. He was pretty excited about the whole experience, but the Jeter part of it was really cool for him.
His wife Julie, his young son Crew was there as well. And then he said that Derek was more than gracious to both of them as well as his entire family. It's interesting because we think of these guys, Mike, and most fans do too, as, well, if you're Kyle Seager, you are a star, right? I mean, but we forget that, well, he's still, even as the star that he is, he still has guys that he looks up to like Derek Jeter, and he was the kid at that point.
Yeah, maybe we forget too that these guys have been fans of baseball their entire lives.
Right.
And sometimes, it's a good point because you get to the big leagues for the first time, and that's one of the hurdles you have to get past. You have to get your job done, but you're looking around the field and the guys that you're playing against, or maybe even in your own dugout. Just a great experience. We mentioned Ken Griffey Jr. earlier, who's in camp now. If you're a call-up, it's the first time you've been to the big leagues, and when you walk in the clubhouse, there's Ken Griffey Jr. That had to have been a pretty neat thing.
No kidding. Mariners down to their final 2 outs. Montero, his first at-bat today, taking over for Daeho Lee.
How about the guys that were called up, and Junior's been in the big leagues for 3 or 4 years, and he's still younger than you are.
You could say the same thing of today about a guy like Trout or Harper, somebody like that.
Yep.
2 outs. Last call for the Mariners here, Sean O'Malley. I think the most incredible stat last year in baseball was that Bryce Harper, for the first time in his career, faced a pitcher that was younger than him.
Yeah, how about that?
I mean, that's amazing. It was a historic year for Harper. O'Malley having a real nice camp for the Mariners. Batting over 500, 15 for 27. Played in 16 spring games, and while those are spring training numbers, and the value of those are certainly weighted differently, I think the bottom line with O'Malley, Mike, is that anytime he's in the lineup, spring training, regular season, what have you, he seems to do something to help the Mariners.
I would agree with that, and I think you mentioned his average, but he already has 5 or 6 stolen bases. He's played a number of the infield positions, all of them except for first. We know he can play the outfield.
Has 3-1. Rob Brantley on deck if O'Malley can reach to extend the game. And a full count. Austin Adams working in the 9th inning, his first. A 2-out walk to O'Malley. And the Mariners bring the tying run to the plate. Here's Rob Brantley. Brantley now 26 years old, from San Diego. It's been just a handful of games last year up in the big leagues with the White Sox. Former teammate of Steve Seashek, Mariners' new closer, spent time in Miami. 2012, 2013 as well. One and one. Shattered bat and a foul ball. And there's what's left of it.
Fortunately, that jagged edge did not go with the pitcher, Adams. Take a look at the swing. Pretty good fastball in on his hands.
And it was here during spring training on the 12th where Brantley was selected off waivers by the Mariners from the White Sox. If nothing else, proving that Jerry Dipoto does not sleep. Always making moves. Medium depth left center. And that'll be all she wrote here today. Mariners strand O'Malley. Indians win this one by a final score of 3-1. And Mike, it was nice to see Wade Miley toe the slab and Seashek in an inning too.
Miley today, I thought he had an exceptional changeup, was efficient with his pitches. In fact, he had to go out to the bullpen to finish his outing today after going 5 innings. Seashek, the big thing with him, health. He looked really good today. His fastball had a lot of run to it. 3 ground ball outs for him. Unfortunately for the Mariners, not much offense as you look at the line, just 1 run on 5 hits. So hopefully that will change tomorrow when they take on the Dodgers.
Half the Indians' hits left the ballpark. Jose Ramirez, 2 home runs. He drives in all 3 for the Tribe. As the Indians win this one today on a Sunday in Peoria, a final score of 3-1. So glad you could join us for Mariners Spring Training presented by Delta Airlines.